Hello everyone, good morning and good afternoon or good evening wherever you are. In this video tutorial, I will talk about basic computer skills. This material is related to this one, gcfglobal.org, basic computer skills. Okay. The past 2 weeks we discussed about computer basic. So in today's presentation or discussion, we're gonna talk about basic computer skills. All right. So without further ado, let's start with the first slide here. Turning on the computers, right? The very first step that we need to do before we do some activities in the computer, we need to turn on the computer and make sure that all the cables are plugged in properly and correctly, and you need to locate the power button, right? Uh, every computer has their own place where they put the power button, so that is the first thing. And after that, once we turn on the computer need to run some boot process, right? The computer need to run a boot process. Okay, there are four boot processes. The first one is called power on self test, which is it load all the firmware setting, right? It checks for a valid disk system, and if the system is good to go, they go to the next place, right? If the computer has a valid MBR or master boot record, the boot process move further to load the Windows boot operating system. Basically, the moment that you turn on the computer, the power button, it will run a power on self test. Make sure that all the firmware settings, it makes sure that it loads all the firmware settings, that all the components inside the computer part are working properly. That's the first step. Second one, it loads the Windows Boot Manager, right? To determine if we have multiple operating system or just one operating system. When you select the operating system, it will load the right program. For example, windows load.exe to boot up your Windows operating system. Okay, so one is power on self-test. Second, it goes to the boot manager and check which operating system that you want to boot up. Okay, the next one is load the operating system, like winload.exe. This is load all the drivers to kickstart the Windows kernel, right? The kernel use the driver to talk to the hardware and do the rest of the thing required for the boot process to continue. So earlier we mentioned power on self-test, and then Windows Boot Manager, select the correct operating system, and after that it load the operating system, right? Make sure that all the driver are kicked in to the Windows kernel, right? And the last step is Windows NT OS kernel, right? This is the last stage. We pick up the registry setting, additional driver if needed, and etc. Once that has been read, the control is taken by the system manager processes. Then it loads all the user interface and the rest of hardware and software. That finally when you see the Windows 10 login screen. Okay. So these are the boot process. Okay. There are four: power on self-test, boot manager, operating system loader, and load the kernel. Okay. How to use the computer built-in help. Here on each application they usually have a help menu. Okay, but in Office 2016 or 365 you can just type here, for example, add online class or insert image from the web. It will tell you how to do that, right? Undo the mistake, right? Undo is in here. Undo, right? Control Z, right? Control Z is a common keyboard shortcut for undo, right? Many programs also have a redo function, right? Which will undo your last undo. Okay, so this undo is usually very useful command, because sometimes you accidentally proceed to the next step, but actually you haven't finished the previous step. So we need to do the undo, right? We need to use the undo button. Okay, So let me see what else we have here. Understanding file extension, right? A file extension is a 3 or 4 letter identifier that found at the end of its file name, right? Why we need to know this file extension? Well, because when someone send you an attachment file, you need to look at the file extension, right? So to make sure that we have the appropriate program or software. For example, if someone send you a .docx file extension, that means he or she send a Word document. That means we need to have the correct program. Otherwise, we won't be able to open the document, right? The .doc is for the Word document. Okay. Excel spreadsheet, the file extension is .xlsx, right? Budget.xlsx. Okay. If this is an older version of Office, they only have .xls, right? So that means that we need to have Excel program in order to open the file, right? So understanding file extension is very important to make sure that we can open the file. Okay, JPEG is for Word. No, JPEG is for pictures, right? Use JPEG.gif extension. This is an example of an image file. Okay, MP3 also, right? MP3. If we want to hear our recording or lecture or songs, make sure we have the program, right? To open the MP3 extension. Okay. All right. Downloading and uploading. Uploading mean from your uploading mean you attach file or upload from your local to the server, right? Downloading mean to the web server, you download to the local computers. Okay, so don't get confused the term between uploading and downloading. Upload means from your local to the server, and download is from the server to your local. Right? You can download a file or you can upload a file. Free software, right? Free software. Freeware and the shareware. Freeware is basically a program that is distributed for free for public to use and distribute it, right? So that's called freeware. Shareware, they allow you to use for 30 days, and then if you like it, then you can purchase the program. Let me show you a good website where you can get free software. It's called filehippo.com, right? Let's say that you don't have antivirus program, right? I would suggest you go to this website. It's called filehippo.com and grab a free antivirus. This here is Avast, right? iOS antivirus, right? I also usually download this registry cleaner, right? CC Cleaner. What is CC Cleaner? Let me show it to you. CC Cleaner is a free PC optimizer that frees up space on your computer by removing unnecessary files, such as cookies, unused data, and temporary files, right? I run this program once in a while to improve the performance on my PC. Notice that these are some of the popular ones, right? So student can utilize this program. Student can utilize this website, FileHippo, to download freeware and shareware, right? Remember, if you have a computer, I would suggest you need to have an antivirus program, because this will prevent all the problems that many users experience. 90% of the time, they don't have the antivirus, right, program. Or another thing is maybe malware, right? Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes. Let me see. Do they have it now? Because they keep changing. Here we go. Malwarebytes, right? Malwarebytes. This is anti-malware program. In the past, it is a freeware, but now they only give you shareware. Free for 14 days trial, and then if you like it, then you can purchase. Windows come with their own, actually, right? Windows securities, right? Let's go to security setting, right? When you have Windows 10, they come with their security here, right? They have a virus protection, right? Make sure it's turning on. Firewall, right? Application browser, it come with it. But additional antivirus will help you to have a second protection, right? Second layer of protection. This one is Windows Security, yes. Our school use this one here, right? Security at glance. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one, right? So we have freeware and shareware, right? And I show you the website. Open source and closed source. Open source, that means the program is free for us to download and to use and to modify. Android operating system is an example of open source program, right? If many of you use Apple Mac or Apple iOS, iPhones 10 or iPhone 11, so those are closed source program. That means the program is usually proprietary and we need to purchase in order to use them. Okay, so remember the difference between open source and closed source, right? Android is an open source system, Android system, and closed source software, for example, like Apple iOS, all right? PDF, right? PDF is short for portable document format file. Are one of the most commonly used file types today, right? If you want to fill out a text form or application for your school, we may need to have this Adobe Acrobat. You can download this for free. Also, I would suggest if you have a computer at home, Adobe Acrobat Reader, right? You need to have this because many of the forms require this program. If you don't have this program, then we won't be able to open the file. Okay. PDF, set up Wi-Fi, right? How to set up Wi-Fi network? Make sure you have the wireless router, right? And usually you need to have a modem, right? Modem. When you subscribe the internet service from Time Warner or Spectrum, they give you a modem, right? From the modem, you need to buy a wireless router so you can split the service into many different computers. Let me show it to you. A typical wireless router, right? Typical. This is an example of wireless router. Linksys. Let's see if we can use this one. Home Depot. This one, right? Okay, wireless routers, 1780. Okay. If you directly connect your computer to the modem, there is no protection, right? Because when you set up or when you install wireless router, after the modem, it will give you protection, okay? Because this wireless router serves as a firewall. It divides the internal connection and the external connection, okay? So we have a wireless router and a modem, right? Also make sure that, let me see here, make sure that you change the default password, right? Make sure you change the default password and use a strong encryption. What else? Use complex password, right? Such as uppercase, lowercase, numerical, and special character, right? Character. So this is how to secure your, how to provide a strong password to your to have your Wi-Fi secure. Okay. Use complex password, right? use strong encryption, use complex password, change default password. Okay, these are some of the things you can do to make your Wi-Fi secure, right? Let me show it to you here. Internet, modem, and routers. Okay. Here, right? Modem and router. So from your Spectrum will give you this device, which is called modem. Is a connection between your house to the internet. From modem, you need to purchase the router. Router is a connection between your modem and wireless device. So if you have a lot of device in your home, you can split this into many different devices. Without this wireless router or switches, we are not able to connect all these devices to the internet. Therefore, it is essential we need to have this. This router also serves as a divider between internal network and external network. Okay, so this is your firewall here, right? Without wireless router, your internet connection may not be secure because there is no firewall in it. Okay. Next one. Make sure that you regularly update your software, okay, and operating system, because this will help your computer to free from viruses and also vulnerability from computer hacking. Security. Window update. Let me see. Window update. See this one? In my case, in my office computer, the school manages the update. They automate the Windows update once a week, so I don't need to do it manually. All right. So if you have a computer at home, make sure you run this update on regular basis. Many people just leave the computer like that and not knowing whether the PC is updated or not. Without regular update, your PC may not be secure, okay, and susceptible to computer hacking. What to do if you get computer virus? Well, before you get computer viruses, we need to install the antivirus first, because once you get the virus, it may be difficult to remove that. Okay, you may need to reformat the hard disk again, so that's gonna take so much time, right? So the best way is to have antivirus installed before you run the program. If you get a virus after that things, you may try to use different computer and to scan the hard disk and clean that out. If that's not possible, you may not be able, you may need to reformat your hard disk again. So it's better to do prevention rather than to fix the problem. Installing software, make sure you find the .exe file. If you are using Mac, the extension is called .dmg. Okay, .exe in Windows and .dmg if you are using Mac. Okay. Uninstalling PC, right? Uninstall software from your window. Make sure you go to Control Panel and uninstall the program, right? Let me show it to you. Control Panel. You have to remove the program properly, not just delete the file here. You see this? Uninstall the program. You need to select from there. Oh, I think that's about it, right? All right then. Well, hopefully that this video is informative to you, and please review this material, and I will post this on the Blackboard, my slide. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day or have a great weekend. Bye-bye.